Okay, so today we're talking about psychosis and how to differentiate between true, real psychosis, which does exist, and between spiritual gifts, abilities like clairaudience, clairvoyance, etc. So let's get a good understanding about this so that we're not continuing to persecute people who actually might have gifts and abilities on a multidimensional level and not get them confused with an actual psychotic disorder such as schizophrenia. And people have literally lost their lives in the past for having gifts and abilities, but they've been gaslit basically to say that they're psychotic or that their gifts and abilities are not real, right? And they need mental, hospitalization or intervention. Now, diagnoses is very much a skill and ability of mine. And so I really want to get some clarity around these two things. All right. So when somebody has psychosis, basically they're experiencing voices that are not within themselves, that they hear just as much as they hear as your voice to my voice, right? They're very real to them. And if you do brain scans, etc., for them, they actually appear as though they are hearing these other voices, okay? But clairaudience also can be when people are able to hear things that are not visible, right? So they're able to hear potentially communication from angels or from ascended masters or from ancestors or those that have deceased and passed. So how do we tell the difference? Well, the main things where this comes into focus is impairment in functioning, okay? So is somebody able to basically take care of themselves, shower regularly, eat and drink and hydrate themselves? Are they able to have a source of living and income, etc.? That's when the mental health concern comes in. And the thing is about a primary psychotic disorder is there's actually requirements that you need to meet. For example, usually the onset for males is in your early 20s and for females is mid 20s to late 20s. But we know that with retrospective data, actually, that there's an impairment and decline in functioning that occurs in the teenage years when synaptic pruning occurs for those who have true schizophrenia, meaning that their synapses aren't firing and, across correctly. What this shows up as is an impairment in academic functioning, so usually grades dip, and also there's social impairment too. So people are isolating more. Usually they don't have a great friend group, etc. And so we know from retrospective evaluation that these things will show up in those that have actually a primary psychotic disorder. So if you're wondering or about yourself or a loved one and you're wondering what is what and wanting to have more discretion around this, feel free to reach out and book a session with me. This is literally what I specialize in, both folks that experience psychosis and also those who are spiritually gifted. And it's important to know what's what and have that discernment so that you are getting the proper support that you need. So don't hesitate to book out. Thanks so much for being here on Mental Health Mondays with Chloe.